position with children 3 to 5, you can't switch that up to a totally different age group that's going to need different help, different psychology and everything. So you also have at Lindbergh, you've had Tony Bongard there for 13 years. Lindbergh is running perfectly fine, and why should it be switched now, the administration at Lindbergh? We recently had switches with vice principals. The high school staff has completely changed administrations quite a few times now. And every time it's always a learning curve, the people who are coming in. By switching in 3 schools of principals, now you're gonna have that learning curve going on in 3 different schools in the district that they have to now pick up whatever's going on in the school and understand and work with those students. Lindbergh is our biggest group in terms of age, where you have first grade up to 6th currently, I believe. And that right there is a whole area of development in childhood psychology. And Ms. Bongard's been doing that very well, dealing with all the different problems that have been going on there. And I don't feel that she should be moved to a different age group if she's been doing such a good job in what is such a difficult school, when you have so many areas of development going on at the same time that you have to manage and deal with. And also, if you have principals in each school that are doing their job well, what is the purpose of shuffling, and how is that benefiting the students if you are moving? I understand Spanish.
Yeah, it's a lot of problem going on, and the whole thing to just spend the whole meeting talking about this, the same thing. Like, it's really affect me because I never see people.
So what's best for the children is keeping things the way they are, with having principals who understand the age group that is in each of the schools, especially when you have Lindbergh with so many ages of development and somebody who's been there for 13 years. That shouldn't be switched now for whatever reason, because what's best for the students is keeping her there and keeping Mr. Donahue at the high school, where he's dealt with athletes there and has been a teacher at the high school level for many years before he stepped into the administration position. And now he's back as the principal, and he's had all this history there.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am. See ya. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Grace Song, 76 East Esta Boulevard. Good evening. One thing I wanted to make sure everybody's concerned, the kids, our students, and that's what we are here for. More than anything, everybody have different information, but more than anything, I want to expect to hear this important matter to be noticed before. And also, there must be, if anything, like promotion going on or decrease going on, I think we need to have the qualification recheck, okay? So qualification, every teachers, Dr. Cirillo choose and board members choose, so all the principals might have good qualification. I'm not disagree with that. However, to feed for each school, that is very important. And also one more thing is, the teachers are working because education system is a teamwork. Not the principal is himself or herself is working. So they need to have a teamwork they have to lead their team, each school, and the teachers need to agree with this principal position and respectable position. So I think we really have to concern and then really recheck the qualification of each teacher, each fit for the principals. And also, I would like to confess that, I've been actively attending the meeting. I've been seeing you and Sarah's mom. However, I wasn't able to, and all the KPC members, we were very shocked to find out what's going on in this town, this meeting. That's why we are here, but we promise we'll try to be here regularly.
Thank you.
To support.
And please, if you don't mind, Monday night, 6 p.m. I think that is as important as any meeting. That speaks to the integrity of our schools, the future of our students, the schools. This is not about any person. We can all be replaced at any given time, each and every one of us. The schools is for the next 50 years. We won't be here. This is for the children. I don't do something for the betterment of Dr. Cirillo. This referendum does not affect me. It only hurts the kids if it's defeated.
Okay, were you able to make this big announcement in our website?
It's been on the website.
It's been? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
I
okay,
didn't check
it's
that.
okay. Monday at 6 p.m., it's gonna happen. And if I have to do this once a month, I have no problem doing so. But for the record, I can be there. The teachers, I commend them. We're there last month. It's the community that we need.
Are you sending out flyers through the schools?
But again, we can send all the flyers we want, Kathy. I know this community because just like the traffic in town, I was advised that there's no schedule. Only to find a schedule, I've gotten the calls from the parents about road closures, about students late to school, about teachers late. There was a schedule. We as a community need to communicate more effectively. We need to advise people prior to. I believe the police department has a nixle to address this community. I will be more than happy to share every phone blast. I can only reach families. I cannot reach residents. I will be in touch with the police department and maybe they can share a nixle with the community. It's not all gonna be positive, but they need to have a voice. We need to know their concerns.
Okay, then
Thank-
let me ask you, as a leader of the KPD, will you take our parents' voices?
We
And
will
will
hear
you-
everyone. It doesn't guarantee that that's gonna happen. There are many suggestions on what everyone would like as part of a referendum. Again, right now, ensuring that the safety and well-being of our students is the priority. It's by all means, we're not gonna float a referendum of 65 million that was rumored, or 45 million. It's not happening. The reality becomes we have to be cognizant of the taxpayers. We cannot put a number out that impacts the taxpayers so much. We have to fix what's broken. And by way of doing that, we will address needs immediately, and we will start to work towards long-term goals. Things that have been neglected for 50 years. I've said it before, it's not a joke. The new wing is not new. It was built in the 1950s. That's not new.
60s.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you very much. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Hi, I just didn't mean to talk today, but it's my second participation in the meeting. I just want to add just what I'm saying as
I'm sorry,
a
your
third
name?
person. My name is Sujin Chung. And I was a former Korean broadcasting journalist for the other many issues. I had the chances to read a lot of journals and newspapers, mostly in New York, but here I had the chances that. And I just wanted to, because I don't know Mr. Kim, I just met him today first, and I know some Maria and other people here, but I just want to let you know that there is a reasonable questions when something is happening, especially in promotion, right? Like when I heard that the promotions, I think people wants to know why. And then it reminds me of that I read a record, the New Jersey newspapers, about the policeman in Palisades Park promotion, and then he was, I don't know him, but he's son of the former mayor, and then when he promoted, that was no testing, no score, and just interview was impressive. That was the reason for promotion. That was in the newspaper, and it was in my town. And then people do the reasonable question about that when something has happened regarding to our kids as well, so we don't just want it. I know that Mrs. Vivanco is very kind. I personally like her, but I think there should be explanation, and it's reasonable for our parents to question about it. So please don't accuse about those questioning things.
Thank
That's
you
what I
very
wanna
much.
say.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
We do know the right. You should know the right definition.
This doesn't work, right?
No. State your name and address.
Hello, my name is Dominic Garitano. I live at 42 West Ruby Avenue, Palisades Park. Wait, louder? Okay. I recently heard that Mr. Donnie, our principal, may be getting moved from Palisades Park High School to the elementary school. This disappoints me as I feel that Mr. Donahue has been a wonderful principal at Palisades Park High School and has been a role model for many here. Mr. Donahue was the vice principal at Lindbergh when I was there, and when I was there, I recognized how well he handled disciplinary situations. He was never irrational or illogical. Mr. Donahue has always had a great amount of patience that even I wish I had. And he always seemed to de-escalate the problem instead of escalating it. His days as a principal were no different, as Mr. Donahue has always been a positive influence on any student he interacts with at Palisades Park High School. He truly cares about his students and values his work, and he shows it. When I first came to Lindbergh, I wasn't a very well-behaved kid, and I even slacked off in school and misbehaved in my classes. But now I've changed, and I'm in the academy program, and I personally believe that Mr. Donahue is responsible for that. When I was there, Mr. Donahue would always try to help me resolve my problems, and personally, I don't think I would have had such a change in my life if it weren't for Mr. Donahue. Most vice principals would just give up and just say there's nothing you could do and just keep disciplining the kid, but Mr. Donahue didn't. While I was there, I still received disciplinary actions such as detentions, but over time that gradually began to decrease, and I managed to mature. In a way, Mr. Donahue was like a role model to me, and in turn made me aim to grow out of being irrational and instead become more patient and rational. Mr. Donahue was a huge influence on me, and for that I thank him, as I wouldn't be here today if Mr. Donahue didn't help me. All in all, I believe that Mr. Donahue as a person is a very respectable man and has influenced many of us, whether it be at Palisades Park High School or Lindbergh, but I personally believe that he should remain as our principal until his career finishes, but I know the Board of Ed has to make these decisions. Thank you for your time.
Any other questions? Yes, please do.
Good evening, everyone. Morning to MC Glen Avenue, Palisades Park. I don't really have much to say about the transfer thing, so you should be happy. My only concern with that would be financial impact to a district that we always hear we have no money. And I imagine people would get raises and you couldn't cut salaries. Change can be a good thing sometimes, if done properly. I don't know why this has to be so rushed. If this is what's good for our kids and what's good for our district, do it next year. Let each other go to each other's buildings. Let there be the teachers and the secretaries there to help the new principals, wherever they may be. That's just my opinion as someone who works in the school and also lives here. But my question is actually about sick bank days. We have a teacher at the high school who's suffering from a very serious medical condition and has been out and has used all his sick days for this year. I'm not sure where September will leave him. He will start with 14 days for the new school year. There are 20 days in September. I don't think he'll be there in September. I think we're looking more at maybe Halloween, November, that he'll be back. We have done the sick bank in the past, and I was hoping that would be something that could be addressed since everybody will be leaving on Friday for the summer, and I'm afraid this will get lost in the shuffle. And if the teacher is unable to return until November, he will have no days and will not be paid.
So for the record, I brought this up to the board's attention without mentioning that individual's name.
He said I could if I wanted to.
Well, I won't because he wasn't Rice, but for the record, I've met with the
I have the
PPEA.
text.
I've also discussed this case with the board. We are very much aware and 1,000,000% will do what's right for him. His health is our priority.
We'll be doing it in June?
We will be doing it before he steps foot back in our schools. He'll be fine.
Good.
We've done it before, we'll do it again.
This is on YouTube.
Like everything else. Like everything else, I guarantee he will be fine.
I'm just
Good.
speaking on his behalf.
I worry
with
about his health,
permission,
that's
and
my
I'm concerned
priority
about
right
him,
now.
and it's a serious
We've
illness.
met with the PPEA and we've discussed this case.
Okay, thank you very much.
You got it.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Yoon Clara Kim, and I wasn't going to speak today, but so I'll just keep this really brief. I've been sitting for the past 45 minutes and listening to these rumors regarding the shuffling of the principals. I wanted to mention that I'm an activist, so I personally love change. However, I only advocate for change when it's ensured positive reforms. Everyone is saying that the students are a priority, that they matter. So shouldn't our voices and opinions matter as well? So I just hope that you take this into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions, concerns?
It's a different subject matter, so I have 3 minutes. It's not about the switch. It's not about the switch, so don't worry about it. I
So
got 3
this
minutes.
is, again, we keep on mentioning this switch, and I think you took to social media to address the switch.
It is my right to do that.
I didn't say it wasn't, but again, do you have factual evidence that anything is happening?
We'll see soon enough, won't we?
Well, again, do you have factual evidence that anything's happening?
Right now, you're replying to me. I think you're constrained not to talk about it.
I
I'm
can
here
do
to make
it.
a comment.
I
have every
don't,
right to make a
I'm an
comment.
employee, I'm not a board member. He
I'm not-
said legally I shouldn't, I have a right to it.
Let's go for it, though.
So this is my advice as a former board member. When you were here in the month of October and we did our test scores, and you had a concern, you publicly had a concern about our test scores at the junior, senior high school with regard to a subgroup that you mentioned, and I won't. We can go back. It's all on YouTube. You're right, Ms.
Okay,
Tansey.
it is on YouTube.
I'm not gonna go there. But again, I have a responsibility. I don't do things personally. There's no vendetta. You're a taxpayer. You're a former board member. You should trust, as someone who voted me in this position, that I am doing right for the future of our schools. You
Trust-
may disagree individually.
Trust comes to a certain degree.
You may disagree individually
The public
because of
needs an
personal
explanation.
relationships.
Gentlemen,
Now, sir.
how much additional time would you?
Did I just lose right now? Did I lose like
Not
a
at
minute,
all.
a minute and a half? Thank you.
How much additional
There's
time?
nothing bad. I just wanted to.
No, I'm asking how much additional time you'd like. I'd like to poll the
I'd
board.
probably leave in less than 3 minutes. It's a different subject matter too.
Can we poll the board whether to give this gentleman an additional 3 minutes?
It's a different subject matter.
Can we poll the board?
That's it. It's a good note. It's a very good
Additional
note.
3 minutes?
I'm not here to argue.
Yes.
Okay? Thank you.
Yes, yes.
She's gonna call the board.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Tom Matarazzo.
Yes.
Stephanie Gray. Yes. Rebecca Lake. Yes. John Mansell.
Yes.
Yul Lynn. Yes. Barnabas.
Yes.
Oh,
And Jason.
Oh, Jason, I'm sorry, Jason.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for another opportunity. I'm not here to talk about the previous subject matter. I just want to, I've heard that the board president, Dr. Matarazzo's daughter, who's a teacher here, received an honorary award. I think we should give them a applause, right? Congratulations on that, really. Really. And
Yeah,
it's,
that was last year.
no, well, that's great. And his son-in-law, who is also a teacher here, is planned to get a promotion. You must be very proud of that, Dr. Matarazzo. Good job. Keep up the good work.
Any other? Yes, ma'am.
Just to invite everybody for the 25th, June 25th, the board meeting. You guys are all invited, for that way we can work together as a community.
the borough meeting, correct?
Yeah, borough meeting.
Borough meeting.
Yes.
Thank you, we'll be there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir?
Ajá.
Yes, please.
Le voy a dar, mira, le puse un boche que se va a dar los 10 días. Laughing about everything
My
else.
name is Julian Kim, and I would like to address the principal swapping situation. And I was just wondering, why is the principals having to switch through the schools? Because as far as I know, Palisades Park are one of the greatest classes of all time. We have not had any drama recently, and through my time in the high school, Mr. Donahue has really gained my respect. So I was wondering, why is he getting demoted down to the elementary?
The board is not addressing any personnel issues tonight, so your question is going to go unanswered.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I don't have a question, I have a request. I was at the last meeting at the high school. We had all the teachers there, I was there, and of course I'm gonna be there. Please, let's spend some money advertising. I like the idea of using the
Nixle.
The Nixle, that's it. But it doesn't have all the numbers in town. Let's hit all the newspapers that we can in town. Get some people there. I wanna see these
I've
buildings.
contacted
You
the
know,
Korean.
you know how much I
I've
wanna
contacted the Korean
fix.
and Bergen Record, the Korean News and the Bergen Record, Joe. I can't force them to run an article. I can't
Can we,
force them to run it in a
can we
timely
pay
fashion.
for an article? Just, let's get something out there.
I will do my best.
I've been listening to that for many years. Don't worry, I'm used to that one. No, like I said, we gotta get everybody, tell your friends, come to the meeting.
Absolutely,
Get this passed.
absolutely.
We have it, we needed it for, I started working here in 1989. Okay, so, on these buildings.
let's hope it
They
does
were, when I came in here, they told me of the problems the buildings had, the old custodians and maintenance workers of the building. We haven't addressed them yet, so we gotta get money in there. And then, like I say, and it's not this board, it's
That's right,
the world.
that's right.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you very much. Yes,
Hi, Mr. Ardiri, 84 Brigham Terrace, Palisades Park. I would like to address you and also Mr. Scalazzo that Limber School baseball field is a disgrace.
Yes.
It should be fixed. It doesn't take much money to fill it with clay, trim the field out, and let our kids play ball on it. It is, it's horrendous, and
When
we
you
shouldn't
say-
wait for referendum to
I'm
go
not,
through it.
but
It
when you
has to
say,
get
when you
fixed.
say our fields, so are.
No, just, I'm
So
concerned
are our
about
kids
Limber.
from the high school playing there, or is this more for recreation?
Recreation.
I agree. So I've talked to Mayor Chung, and respectfully, I think that's supposed to be a joint effort between the board and the
Okay.
borough, because if I'm spending money for recreation, I think there should be something
I
reciprocal for the
I think
board.
rec has some money also, I
I
think.
hope that they can meet us halfway,
think
but again,
If
none of our
something can be
teams are
done, but
playing there.
something has to be done.
I don't disagree with
Because
you.
there's no field. The kids are trying to practice for districts there. It's a disaster.
I don't disagree with you. I will be in touch with the mayor.
Okay. And
Thank you.
thank everybody for coming out to
Thank you.
support Frank tonight.
Any other questions?
We have to go to close.
If not, we have to go into closed session. Yes, I'd like to entertain a motion that we close the audience participation. Second on that? All in favor? Opposed? And now I'd